Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther the
Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the Woo! Dang it! Should have told the. Oh man! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and woo! Oh boy, they heard about the podcast. I guess it's not like the 1980s anymore. We're in the middle of podcast month, and what guys? Oh god, knew this day was coming. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to my guest today, Security Inc. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside, guys. Welcome to Dudes at Ringside.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Yes, yeah. I know. I'm a 90s/80s kid, and seeing anybody that's in law enforcement always makes me tip the cap and the nod. And thank you for what you guys do. My dad's a former CO for 21 years, so always seeing someone in uniform, always like, thank you for what you do. Stay safe, stay safe. Those streets are hard. My dad's like, don't say the streets are hard, man. The streets are hard. Gentlemen, if my internationally known audience, if they're not familiar with you guys, and why would they not be, introduce yourselves.
My name is Officer Ronald Moses, alongside my guard dog, Malcolm Murray. We are the 10-year veterans known as Security Inc., the law enforcement out to protect and serve the professional wrestling industry, specifically tag team wrestling.
Awesome, gentlemen. So who did you train under?
So that would be mostly Pat Buck at Creative Pro, New Jersey, alongside Mario Booker and Dan Moff.
Wow, Creative Pro. Mm-hmm. I always thought Creative Pro was just on Long Island. I guess they had another extension of the Creative Pro.
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting how many people think that, honestly, for lack of a better term. Yeah, New Jersey's out there too.
Wow. So, it's not you; it's your partner. Also, does your partner want to say any words? I always like hearing from the other member of the team.
Usually, I just bark, but I guess I'll talk.
Peace.
Okay. Yeah, but I trained under Pat Buck and Mario Bocura too. I started around the same time as Ronnie. I was like a month later than Ronnie, but yeah, we started around the same time, and then we started off as rivals because we always was on the opposite side of each other somehow, and then we ended up getting thrown into a tag team together, and with instant chemistry.
Awesome. So I guess it was. You guys met in the ring as rivals, and so what made you guys decide to make this team? Was it like something that happened in the match, something you guys saw before in the middle of the match?
We always had good chemistry with each other as opponents. We were just on opposite teams, and then over the course of, I would say, about a year to 2 years, the students that were in our class around us just kind of dropped off and quit the school for various reasons. And then, Malcolm and I were still left, like, pretty much the remaining two. And we were just, each of us were kind of like lost in the shuffle, I guess you could say. So it just seemed like the natural thing for us to start a tag team with each other.
Awesome. So did you guys always have this idea for the Security in gear that you guys are wearing currently, or was there like a process to get everything the way you wanted it to look?
You take this one, buddy.
I think it took it took over time. It was over time as our characters grew because we was known as job security at first. That was our name, and then like over time, like we evolved with like over time we evolved, especially after COVID. So we had to come up with a new name, new gimmick, and then like I guess now with us fighting ourselves, it also we added stuff to our gear. We also took things away that we didn't fit, that didn't fit us. So I think it's just trial and error to come up with what we have now.
Mm, awesome. Have you guys? I know you guys train in New Jersey. Have you guys trained? Where like places in the states, or like I guess in the New York area or the tri-state area? It might add. Where have you guys not been to yet?
Where have we not been to? That indie wrestling is so expansive. I couldn't really sit here and give you a list. In terms of like, I guess let's say where we're looking to go. I feel pretty happy with how well how well traveled we've been over the Northeast. I think our big goal for this year is to get out of the Northeast a little bit more. We're both passport ready now. So I think going up to Canada would be awesome. Going down south a little, maybe going out west a little. I think that's mostly what we're looking to do right now.
I can see you guys, because I know a lot of promotions from the UK. I could see you guys becoming like the British police, those tall hats.
Yeah.
Do they have guard dogs in the UK? They
Well,
have to have guard dogs. They will
I would
now.
love to be the first. You don't.
Yeah. I guess you have to go to a store, see if they have the tall British hat with the points on the top of it.
Yeah.
You could be like worldwide police when you go to the UK, come back, and then you were worldwide police, not just little. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be Canadian police.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys come back and you're like the Mounties.
Yes.
You go to Canada. Jeez. Hey, if you go to Canada, you'd be able to train under the great Mountie. He is a trainer in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that.
I forgot the school he trains at. I interviewed a lot of wrestlers, and he's a trainer now.
Huh.
Rougeau, the Rougeau brothers,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
They want to come to America and listen to rock and roll. You go old school, the Rougeau brothers are moving to America, and they're going to be listening to rock and roll.
Yep.
I'm old school. Sorry. I'm
Almost
still watching WWF Superstars. I can't get away from that, man. Since I got Peacock on my TV, I'm like, when I'm watching wrestling, I could hear I'm like, what wrestling? WWF.
right now, I'm big.
Yeah. So, like, have you guys thought of excuse me, any tag teams that you guys would like to face in 2025 that you've been watching on the scene?
Yeah, definitely. I could throw a few out there. We've been wanting to wrestle to infinity and beyond for quite some time now. I really love what they do. I watched Philly Marino Experience the other day. I'm a big fan of them. Crap, I had so many teams.
Main event.
Neon Blondes are another one. You got any, Malcolm?
Oh yeah, main event.
Yes. There we go.
I don't know. There's so many. There's so many that we haven't faced yet. I just want to, the Shooter Boys, of course. But there's so many teams that we like want to mix it up with that we haven't really got a chance to go out with. I think we gotta make a lot of magic with a lot of the teams. It surprised a lot of teams too.
Yeah.
South Philly's finest, as me and the officer here, we were at the PPW show. That's another team that I could see you guys facing. Even though if you saw the video, they were kind of rough on me. I watched the video on Instagram. You saw the video. I never tell South Philly's finest you're a fan of a New York team.
And we can have a good storyline with them. So
Yeah.
that'd be
If
a
you
good
ever
team.
looking for a manager, just if you come to PPW, you could have a little storyline, show the video on the camera, and then I'll come out with a neck brace on, like Bobby the Brain Heenan, and be like, "You guys, you touched the wrong Panther. I have only 8 lives now. Why are you wearing a white shirt? And I'm protected. I'm wearing a flak jacket under my little coat.
We're here for you.
Got protection. And then your guys' theme song comes on. God, I get booed out the building because South Philly's finest loses to these guys that just come in the building.
I think too that we found that groove as heels. So I think too that we're good as baby faces, but I think right now at this time we have really found our groove as being heels and like getting the fans to hate us and manipulating the fans to do what we want. So I'm loving the run we're on right now too.
So you said you're better off as heels. Is there certain areas you go to that you know how to pick the person in the crowd to just tear apart, or do you just figure before the show who's that one person in the crowd I gotta go after?
I usually find those persons like when I'm walking out. I usually like stare them down, and then I see who gives me the reaction I want, and then that's how I find them. Usually, it's just like filling it out once I'm out there, just going there, looking at the crowd, and then like I'll say what my favorite thing is like I'll just say you suck, and then they'll say it back, and then I'm like, all right, now that's the I want. I just want them to admit that I suck, but I say it to them first, so they're like, no, I don't suck, you suck, and then that's when I get them. So I just feed off of the crowd and look at who I can react to.
Yeah, I was like, even the guys from South Philly Finest. Oh, we're gonna be heels tonight, and I'm just like, I wouldn't believe that because the last show I went to, the cheers, they were cheering them, and then all of a sudden this show they're booing them, and I'm just like, man, I missed. You can't miss a PPW show because if you miss it, it's like missing a Monday Night Raw. You're like, why does Rey Mysterio have the United States title? Oh fuck, I missed the week before. That's like me missing it on on Netflix. I'm going, what the hell did I miss last week? What was that? What was I miss? Like,
yeah.
So what do you guys think now that independent wrestling now since COVID has like hit this new high that everybody has their own thing and does it feel like the old school now with the WWF and the territories? Everybody has their own little groups now.
Man, wrestling is indie wrestling to me it's changed a lot since the pandemic. I mean, my experience, our experience, you go back to like early 2020, we were white hot. Like we were rolling. We were booked every weekend. We were in a really great spot. We had just done extra work for WWE. And then after wrestling opened back up again, started opening back up again, we kind of lost our way, just kind of weren't having fun anymore. Just like weren't happy with certain storyline directions we were involved in at the time. And then more often than not, wrestling in front of, a closed studio with no one there. It kind of sucked. And that honestly, it was all a part of our journey going from, like Malcolm was saying, job security to Security Inc. We hit that point where it was time for reinvention. But no, to answer your question, looking at the indies as a whole, I think it's definitely gotten back to a good place.
Yeah, I would say so too. And I think it also helped with during the pandemic too is when AEW started picking up. So I guess the independent wrestlers started opportunities because now there's multiple places to go. There's you could
Mhm.
go to MLW, you could go to TNA, you could go to AEW, you could go to NWA, and then you got WWE who's doing WWE ID now. It gives a I guess rejuvenation to indie wrestling where they didn't see hope before. Now there's hope, so now they're giving it their all because you never know who's watching. So that's why I think, and I guess the fans see it too, where all these wrestlers are trying their best and they're giving it their all for us. So I'm gonna pay my money to go see them. So now I think that's why it's becoming like a more of a resurgence and more of a build in the indies is because we're seeing more opportunities that we can get into other places. It doesn't just have to be WWE, but we also have other opportunities to make money.
And also on Long Island, there's like the gold mine there. There's Victory Pro Wrestling. We got NYWC. There's I can't think of the old. It was the Cap. We got
Yeah.
what's the other one that's on Long Island? That's there too.
Remarkable Wrestling.
What was that?
Remarkable Wrestling.
Remarkable Wrestling. There's so many to choose from. Like I'm 41 and I used to live on Long Island back in the day. I've been here for 17 years now. There was only NYWC that I knew of. And then when
Wow.
my former co-host and we went to a show in July, like a long time ago in July, and we heard about NYWC. So they told us to come out. We bought a ticket. We went. And that night we went to Victory Pro Wrestling, even though we were dying in the heat at NYWC. Shout out to Joey Conway and the boys. But yeah, but it's like, and then I live now in PA. I have, and Long Island has like it's like a gauntlet of promotions. PA, we got PPW, we got Battlefield, which was owned by Alpha Junior, which shout out to Alpha and the whole gang. That's another one. Actually, they're doing a tag team tournament over there at Battlefield Pro Wrestling for the Crown Tag Team Champions, the first ever Battlefield Tag Champs. You should definitely hit them up about that. You got New Era Pro Wrestling, which is owned by Shelby Waters. This is another good one. They have a lot of good shows that they're doing. We got Smash Masters Wrestling, that's out of Scranton in a lot of Scranton areas. My gosh, there's High Grounds, another one that's in Pennsylvania, a smaller one. It's like as I said, there's so many. It's hard. You would have to get a tour bus and just travel around the New York State area just to go to everything and be able to stay in a little area in a little tour bus, be able to go to everything. It's hard. Like, how do you choose one promotion to go to? You know what I mean?
And some of them run on the same day too. So
yeah,
yeah. You would literally have to be the Quagmire bus, be like the Shaggin' Wagon, like to be able to go to every freaking state, every part of New York, to be able to go to everything. It's annoying. It's just like, okay, this week I'm going to Long Island. I'm going to go to NYWC, and then I'm going to move another part of Long Island, go to VPW, and then I'm going to have to go here and there and there. It's going to be crazy. Like it'd be hard. I don't know how these people do it. I don't know how people like fans choose where to go. It's hard. It sounds so hard and so bad to say this, but how do people like you guys booking shows and going places? Like, do you guys really have to look at your calendar to see if you were booked before when the person says, "Hey, I want Security Inc. to come to my promotion"? Do you really have to like deeply check your schedules before you like say yes?
You know, it varies. I mean, like Malcolm said, there's a lot of times where we want to go one place and then there's like 2 or 3, sometimes 3 other promotions. They're all running on the same date, so we have to make a choice. I'll say this right off the bat: we're the AXW Tag Team Champions. AXW is our priority. You know, that's my philosophy. Is that
that's another one. AXW. It's another one in PA.
Yeah, and to me, like I consider that our home now. Like we love it there. But I was gonna say, you know, we're the champions. I feel like it's our responsibility to be there every event. And then, you know, outside of that, VPW is a staple of our schedule. I feel like we're having a good run there. I would give VPW a little more priority as well when possible. And then, in terms of like, take a PPW, for example, somewhere where, we would love to work. I have been wanting to go there more. It just has been conflicting with other dates that we've had booked. So sometimes you do have to make a choice. But to my point, all that is to say, like, we have our priorities and then some other spots where, we might be able to throw some stuff in.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's difficult because it was funny that we bumped each other at the show, and when you said, "Hey, I'm working with you on blah 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 date," did you see my face? Because I had to remember. I was like this.
Yeah.
I was like, all of a sudden you see Thanos, my glasses just fade away, and I'm like, who? Who's Joe Panther? I throw my jacket away. I'm like, who? And I'm like ripping the shirt off, trying to get. No, that's not me. Some little kid walking by. I'm like, here, put these on. Put this hat on.
That's the guy.
Little kid looks like what's his name? Like what's his name from Home Alone's little brother that pisses in the bed? He's like, so just.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's just like, yeah, Macaulay
Culkin's
Culkin's real brother. He's like, I don't know. I'm just like, my name is Jeff. The look you saw in my eyes was totally confusion and nervousness because I was going. In my head, I saw the meme of Simba seeing the herd come at him. I was like, am I supposed to remember? Because my dad's like, I think my Papa Panther. I think my dad heard that, and he's like, you don't have that on you don't have the dates on your phones, don't you? No. Why? And I'm like, I have Instagram. I just look for a message, scroll. Yeah, that's how I scroll. I scroll like your buddy here when he's trying to find a bone in the yard.
Yeah.
I use a panther. I can't use one hand. I'm my little paw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like all fingers, even though my hands can be dirty eating at lunch. I'm like, my mom's like, your phone is disgusting. It's from doing this all day.
Yep.
Reading a chat. Make sure, warning kids, when you're in a chat, don't accidentally go all the way to the bottom and keep your finger on the screen. You will lock this chat.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, it's bad. I did that to a wrestler one day, and they were like, it locked the chat for 24 hours.
Wow.
Yes. It's like when you can't remember your password, it's like the person gets mad, and I guess they're trying to see what you're doing, and they'll lock you. And it's like Instagram, like it logged it. I guess the person accidentally saw that and they unlocked it. And I'm like, you were scrolling. Busted. Woo woo. Busted. Awesome. Guys, if my fans want to pick up any merch, do you guys have any merch they could pick up?
Yeah, we have a Big Cartel website. It's securityinc.bigcartel.com. I will say this, if you go on there, there might be some extra large shirt sizes listed. We only have small, medium, and large right now. I do apologize. We're trying to get the larger sizes restocked. We have the t-shirts and our pictures for sale online. If you come to our merch table at an event, you'll see a much bigger array of merchandise. Big Cartel only lets you upload so many items. But if you come up to us at an event, we'll have hats, we'll have stickers, buttons, flags, you name it, we've got it.
Oh, flags too. Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny when I saw South Philly Finest tables. I'm like, my dad's like, they sell pants? My dad didn't get the pants. He's like, they sell pants? And I'm like, how do they know? He's like, how do they know they'll fit them? I'm like, how do you know? Like, I don't know. I'm like, were they expecting the person to be a large? And I'm like, some people, wrestling fans. There's no like you go to a wrestling show. There's like they're not buying the large; they're buying a 2X. Like
that's why we're at our bigger sizes are out of stock right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But before we go, if there was any young fans watching this show, see everybody language before, but if they want to get into the business like you guys, what kind of advice would you have for them?
It's a lot harder than you think it is.
Mhm.
Because I started wrestling at the young age of 17. I was still in high school. It's a lot harder than you think it is. It is a man's business, and your body's going to get beat up, and you're going to have to learn your respect, and you're going to have to mature up real quick. But with that being said, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's going to take, for some guys, I've watched them be a natural at it, some very select few, but for most, it takes a lot of work, a lot of focus, a lot of thought, picking your trainer's brains, the brains of the veterans around you. There's so much that goes into it. To that point, you're always learning too. Malcolm and I have been doing this for 10 years now. We're still, every time we go out to the ring, we're still learning. So there's so much I could say, but I'll just leave it at that.
Awesome.
I would say too that you'll get out of this business what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're giving it your all and you're going to push it, that's what the business is going to give to you. If you love the business, it's going to love you back.
Awesome. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Help me with Tag Team Month, and I want to wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. Don't forget to keep them awesome tag team titles, because we are in the internationally known home of champions. So many fictional tag team titles on my wall. My mom yells at me for nailing them on walls, but there's so many. There's so many. Past 4 years of this podcast, some of these belts I have to get on my wall, and it's so dusty.
Doing a podcast.
No wonder I'm coughing dust. But thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Officer Ronald Moses.
I'm the guard dog.
And we will catch you in the next one. Oh, please.